Well, it's good evening from wherever you're watching us from. You are just in time for the 9 p.m. wrap live at our OBTV studios. I am your captain, Jesse Gitonga. Landing is disengaged. Let's take off. You can join in the coverage live through our social media platforms at OBTV Kenya, hashtag the 9 p.m. wrap, or you can reach out to me on my social media platforms at the Jesse Tosh. Alego Usonga MP Samuel Atandi has welcomed political parties to campaign in ODM strongholds ahead of the 2027 general elections, saying that ODM upholds democratic values and will not block other parties from seeking support in the region. Speaking in Bondo during a youth empowerment exercise, Atandi warned politicians against using the legacy of the late Raila Odinga as a campaigning tool, urging them to respect his contribution to the country. The legislator also cautioned politicians against portraying themselves as messiahs who can solve all the region's problems, saying no government is perfect. He further urged ODM supporters to remain steadfast in the party, even as other political groups step up their campaigns. His remarks come amid the Linda Mwananchi campaigns rally in different parts of the country, led by former ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna.
We also say that we don't want to block anybody who wants to come to Luanyanza to do politics, because democracy is what we fought for, and that's what Raila Odinga fought for. But we want to inform you that even as you come to Luanyanza, as you come to ODM strongholds, know that you are not even a quarter of what Raila Odinga was. You are not even an eighth of what Raila Odinga was. If you are saying you are carrying the spirit of Raila Odinga, wait for that spirit to grow in you. That spirit is not yet germinating in you. So don't come here and tell us stories about how you are the one carrying the legacy of Raila Odinga. You can go anywhere you want, but we want to caution you that these people here, we are still waiting for somebody who will fit in the shoes of Raila Odinga. And if you want to criticize government, you know you are very small. You are not even big to criticize government. There's no government which is perfect.
Broadcasting and Telecommunications Principal Secretary Stephen Isaboke has urged chiefs and assistant chiefs to sensitize young people on the importance of acquiring national identification cards to enable them register as voters. Speaking after a consultative meeting with local administrators in Nyamache Sub-County, Kisii County, Isaboke said acquiring IDs will enable young people to participate in the 2027 general election and elect leaders of integrity. He said Nyamache and Sameta sub-counties have so far registered about 10,000 new voters against the IEBC target of 40,000. The PS said the government is fast-tracking ID issuance through an automated registration process. Isaboke also pledged to address challenges facing local administrators, including poor internet connectivity and inadequate ICT equipment to improve service delivery.
So we said they need to go to the villages to identify youth who have actually attained 18 years, to then be encouraged to do this good for them, because then they can be able to cease either to go to college or training, or in fact do other economic activities where they can only do if they are registered. And finally, around civic duty, to say that as we're building into the next cycle of elections, that our people should actually not be left behind by not registering as voters. The Ngao updated that we had about 10,000 new voters registered in both sub-counties, Nyamache and Sameta. We are targeting about 40,000 new voters. So we actually agreed with the chiefs, the assistant chiefs, the ACCs and DCCs, that they will actually sensitize again in the parasas, that people actually need to prepare to exercise their civic duty by registering first of all as voters. That's the only way they can actually participate in the new exercise that will then come in the new year, when obviously there will be a new general election.
Young people across Africa are being urged to use democratic spaces, dialogue and digital platforms to promote peace during election periods. Peace advocates say youth must be at the center of peace-building efforts to prevent electoral violence and strengthen social cohesion. With this comprehensive story is our own Mwende Wambua.
For many young people across Africa, elections present an opportunity to shape the future of their countries. But election periods can also expose youth to political manipulation, misinformation and violence. At the 7th Regional Youth in Action Forum in Nairobi, Peace builders and youth leaders from 6 African countries are now calling for greater youth participation in peace building and democratic processes.
And the key takeaway from this is how to build a peaceful society whereby we are tolerant of each other, irrespective of our different views, whereby we can disagree to agree, agree to disagree, and still be brothers and sisters. From this, I'm going to use media advocacy, since we as the young people, most of us have access to phones, most of us have access to social media, and we can be able to communicate, and that message is able to reach out to very many people.
The advocates say Africa's young population should not only be used to mobilize during elections, but also included in decision-making after the polls. They're now calling on youth to understand their rights, use existing laws and democratic spaces, and hold leaders accountable.
We are empowering them to take advantage and make use of the opportunity.
With social media playing a role in political discourse, young people are also being challenged to use digital platforms responsibly. Peace advocates say social media can either bridge divides or amplify hate, misinformation, and incitements to violence. For young people in countries such as South Sudan, the call for peaceful participation is particularly personal. Janet Isaac Diko, a South Sudanese youth advocate, says years of conflict have disrupted education, peace building, and community development.
Conflict tends to disrupt a lot of activities, especially education, peace processes, and so many other things. And as a result of the conflict that has been going on, there has been actually disruption of education. People do not have access. Sometimes there's road blockages. Teachers have to flee. Students have to leave the country for safety. As a youth advocate from South Sudan, there are very many platforms that we use as young people to reach out to different young people. But of course, we have a barrier that there are a lot of young people in the rural areas who do not even have access to information. There are people in South Sudan that don't even know that we're going to be having elections this coming year. So there's need for...
South Sudan is preparing for elections later this year, with youth advocates calling for more civic education, especially in rural communities. The message from the 3-day forum is clear. Young people should be seen as agents of peace, not tools for political violence. And as Africa's youth population continues to grow, participation, dialogue, and tolerance could hold the key to more peaceful democratic processes. Mwende Wambua, Obit TV, Nairobi.
Some challenges and speculation together with this group of friends.
Fought for independence.
Well, we have arrived at our destination. Hope you enjoyed the flight. I have been your one and only Captain Jesse Gitonga. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night. Oh, and don't forget, and now